Congratulations!
Congratulations, you made it. Welcome to BC. Come join the marching band.
Come join the Symphonic Band.
Come join us in BC Bop.
Join you.
Join the Pep Band.
Please come and join our BC Bands family.
Won't you throw me, jelly roll me, smack dab in the middle of it all.
Bop is a full big band jazz ensemble. We have a mixed vocal section, and we play everything from Latin to swing to funk.
If you did jazz or jazz band in high school, there is absolutely no reason you shouldn't try out for Bop because it is just like that but better. And the people in it will become your closest friends because not only does music make that bond stronger, but just the people in Bop are awesome. They're so diverse. You get to know people from every class who are studying everything under the sun, and it's just an awesome way to really bond over good music.
We start out the year in Bop playing some of the pieces that the veteran members are familiar with, what we call our standard repertoire. Some of the standards that we play in a couple of shows here on campus. It's a great way to ease the underclassmen in and to get everyone adjusted to new roles in the ensemble and to create an ensemble sound.
In the spring semester, we really ramp things up with Bop.
We get some new pieces that are more challenging oftentimes that we'll play in competitions or as we travel to different places. And then we get ready for our big Rob Shem concert in the spring.
One of our big sellout shows where we perform lots of our favorite music.
As a member of BC Bop, you'll have an amazing, unique opportunity to perform in a show called Dancing with Bop during our Arts Fest every spring. And this is a great opportunity to play music that you never would normally play in a jazz band, from rock to rap to hip-hop to funk, that dance ensembles actually select and have routine dances to that we then arrange and play as a big band. Auditioning for Bop, it's actually a fun experience. You have a rehearsal reading session, if you will, for the audition piece where everyone is at a level playing ground, sight reading the music, and everyone who wants to be in Bop plays it together. A week later, we have individual slots with the director and play through some parts of the piece that are challenging on our instrument or he wants to see us play, and we'll hear back after that.
As a vocalist, the audition for Bop entails going in and singing for both of our directors just a jazz standard that you've prepared. And then after that, they will do a couple tests with you about scales and vocal range just to get familiar with your voice. And then once you get a call back, you will prepare a section of music and go sing it with the other people who've gotten called back.
As far as time commitment is concerned, we meet regularly twice a week for 2 hours for a full ensemble rehearsal. And then we have sectionals as well once a week for about an hour.
As a vocalist, the time commitment for Bop is 3 rehearsals a week and then some extra time if you need to put in the work with other members. The 3 rehearsals, 2 of them are just with vocalists, perfecting our stuff, and then once a week we have a little shorter rehearsal where we perform with the band and make sure that we're all in sync for performances.
As a musician, it's definitely been a challenge, but also one of my favorite parts of Bop is that we play the original arrangements that some of the greatest big bands of all time have played, from Sammy Nessico's Count Basie arrangements and Duke Ellington stuff, and New York Voices, Manhattan Transfer, the original pieces as they were performed. So we're playing at a professional level in college, and it's a great experience from a musician standpoint.
When I first got to college as a freshman, I was obviously a little nervous to be putting myself out there and auditioning for things and trying out for things. But I was definitely convinced to join Bop and to audition and put myself out there. So I did, and I'm so glad that I did.
And it's really become kind of like a second family to me, and a place that I can really call home on campus.
Smack dab in the middle. And let me rock and roll to satisfy my soul. And let me rock and roll to satisfy my soul.
The University Wind Ensemble, or as we like to call it, UE, is an audition-based group, and we just play a variety of challenging and exciting repertoire.
The University Wind Ensemble meets once every week for 2 hours for a rehearsal, but we also have private lessons that are taught by an instructor, and also we have sectionals, which are done with other members of your own section.
The private lessons that are offered by UE are actually a really great way to grow as a musician. Personally, I've had a lot of trouble coming in as a new E-flat clarinet player, and I think that having an instructor help me one-on-one to work out the specific problems that I have with high notes or solos in the piece is really important.
For me as a percussionist, I had an instructor who not only helped me improve my technical skills as a percussionist, but also helped me move through the pieces that we were playing. And it was a great experience because I really learned so much from the lessons that Timur, my instructor, taught me, that I've been able to play a bunch of instruments.
Coming into freshman year in college, I was a little nervous that I wouldn't have a lot of time for UE, top of all of my new schoolwork and friends and just crazy things that I had to settle into. So I actually put off joining until second semester. And that's when I realized that I was missing out on a lot, and I'm missing out on a lot of the experiences and all the people in Wind Ensemble, so I decided to join.
When I became a Boston College Eagle, I was definitely really excited and kind of nervous as well because it was an entirely new environment for me. But after joining UV, and I realized that I could learn so much more than just being stuck to one instrument, and now I have so much variety in the things that I play and the music that I enjoy, so it's been a great experience.
If you don't join UE, you're missing out on a great group of people and a really fun time.
The fact that I'm surrounded by people who are so motivated to create great music has helped me to become a better musician, and in the end make some great friends in the process.
If you really want to express yourself, UE is definitely the place to be.
When music plays an important role in your life, it helps you in ways that you can't even imagine. You get better academically, and socially you make a ton of new friends, and you're really in an environment that fosters that sense of brotherhood and that sense of friendship that is really hard to find when you immediately enter college.
Boston College Pep Band has about 120 members, and at each performance we have about 30 members. So you bring the excitement to the arena on game day. Whatever's happening on the ice or on the court, the Pep Band is really the ensemble that brings that excitement. The entire Boston College community really gets behind the Pep Band. You know, they really enjoy our performances at all the games. Rehearsal commitments really aren't that much. We have rehearsal maybe once every other week in the fall semester, a little less in the spring semester. But Pep Band's more about performing with the ensemble.
Basically how it works is we ask for members to come to at least one game per week, which a lot of the times for BC students is something that they would want to do anyway. Like a ton of people want to go to a hockey game on a Friday night.
Pep Band is unique in the way that at each performance we have a different ensemble performing, just different members at each different game.
You might stand to someone that you've never met. You might be a freshman, and one day you stand next to one of your freshman friends. One day it might be a senior. And that's just a really cool way to kind of get to know and talk to kids that you might otherwise have not met. It's like a very diverse, very mixed environment, which is really cool.
In the Pep Band we have
Piccolos, alto sax, tenor sax, mellophone, trumpet, trombone, baritone, sousaphone.
keyed bass, so if you play piano you can join the Pep Band and play the keyed bass. We have a synthesizer, and any type of auxiliary percussion, cowbells, cymbals, anything you could think of. So really anybody can join the Pep Band. It doesn't matter what instrument you've already played, you can definitely have a spot in the Pep Band. In the Boston College Bands Department, you have the opportunity to learn any instrument you want.
Pep Band was actually great because it gave me a lot of practice to kind of slowly learn and practice those skills.
The different performance opportunities that you have approximately once a week will definitely allow you to hone your skills at whatever instrument you want to learn. And there are definitely many opportunities for you to do that in the band's program. So conductors are basically the leaders of the Pep Band. Anyone can be a conductor. There are about 2 or 3 rehearsals prior to actual game day where you would learn all the nuances of being a conductor and how to lead the pep band. We have approximately 20 to 25 different conductors at any one time, and at each game we tend to have 2 or 3 conductors so that it's not all on one person, that they get to share the work, but it's a great experience to do that in the pep band. A lot of the students in pep band have also done marching band in the fall.
It kind of makes a lot of sense. We use a lot of the same tunes. We both play at sports. It's a really great way to keep playing all year. I always find that when I come back to marching band, I come back a lot better because I've practiced all spring. One of the really cool things about playing at games is how much the fans get involved. We actually have one kid who's about 6, and he comes to every single game with his dad.
He brings his recorder, sometimes he even conducts, and he's really awesome. His name's Andres.
He talks to us about school and songs and things that he likes. So it's just a really cool environment to kind of like get involved in talking to members of the community that you might not otherwise do. One of the biggest perks of being in pep band is that you don't have to buy tickets for any of the games. Even if you aren't scheduled to play at that particular game, you can still go for free. So I've never paid for a BC sports game in my entire life.
The best part about pep band is definitely the travel experiences that you get at the end of the year. Depending on how well the teams do during the year, they might move on to postseason tournaments. Now, me personally, I've been to Philadelphia, Minneapolis, Duluth, Minnesota. There's a men's ACC tournament in Greensboro, North Carolina. They're moving that tournament to New York. So there are all these different opportunities at the end of the year for the pep band to travel with the team.
I've traveled something like 14 or 15 times, which is never something I expected to do from being a tuba player, but it's actually really cool and really, really fun.
So coming to college it's scary. You know, you're leaving your house for the first time, and you're on your own for the first time, and you're going to have a lot of free time. So joining any of the band's programs, ensembles, is a great way to make friends, it's a great way to stay involved, and it's a great way to stay active on campus in campus activities. Playing at these games with all your friends is always a lot of fun, getting to root on the teams for Boston College, the hockey team, the basketball teams, whether we play for Boston after we score or we play shipping up to Boston. That really brings the excitement to the crowd, and you know, that's a really fun experience.
Symphonic Band, or as we like to call it, Simba for short, is a large concert band. We play a variety of challenging wind band music, and it's made up of community members, alumni, and undergraduate members.
Symphonic Band is a great way for members of the community to come together with current students and faculty that want to keep playing their instrument, hone their craft.
I was a typical band kid in high school, very involved. I was a drum major. I marched drum corps before I came to Boston College. I'm in the marching band here, I'm in the pep band, and the fun, supportive atmosphere of Simba really fit with what I was looking for.
I was initially worried about the time because I had 2 night classes in the spring, and then I had Simba, so 3 of the 5 nights of the week I was doing something and I wasn't home. And that initially worried me because I treasure my downtime a lot, but I kind of came to learn that some of my downtime was at Simba because I was like letting my mind go in like a non-academic direction, and I was able to sort of like turn off from classes and like tune into something else that I really enjoy, which is music.
Simba meets once weekly for 2 hours.
During every rehearsal, a different section brings snacks to rehearsal, and whichever section brings snacks, they would stand up and introduce themselves, and I really like that because I get to know who they are.
I think it's really cool to play with that lineage at Boston College. Like, when alumni members introduce themselves and say what year they graduated, it's fun knowing that there's a piece of that that's still here. And you get to, we get to share that with them. We get to play in the same ensemble as them, and it's a really fun experience. Simba typically plays 4 concerts per year. We always play a wide variety of music, classics like Bernstein and Sousa, with also some newer works.
Start with a fall concert in around the middle of November that falls right before Thanksgiving.
And one of the really fun concerts of the year is when we get to play a joint concert during Christmas time with the University Wind Ensemble. It's a lot of fun. We always do Sleigh Ride.
And then our spring concert, which this year is during Arts Fest, should be a really good way for us to showcase our talents to our fellow students, which is really popular in Arts Fest.
And for people who stay in Boston over the summer, there's an opportunity for Summer Simba to play at the Hat Shell on the Esplanade in Boston every summer in July.
So Simba rehearsals are really fast-paced. We start with tuning, and we sing through pitches so we can get them in our heads, and then we move on to the repertoire. We also have guest conductors that sometimes come in that are members of the ensemble We have one that plays the tuba this year and another one that plays the trumpet.
Even this year alone, we've had the opportunity to work with 4 different conductors, and it really is a great learning experience. Since I became a member of Simba, the membership has really grown over the years, and it's really flourished with our performance ability as well. People have enjoyed it so much that they're bringing their friends into it as well. To me, BC Bands really feels like a family, and Simba really embodies that because we have the representation from the class of 1962 all the way to present. It really feels like a family every time we play together.
The marching band is the largest and most visible student organization on campus, consisting of 180 members.
We play at the football games and at various activities on campus and off campus, and we pretty much embody the spirit of BC.
So for an incoming freshman, joining the marching band is a great experience because you not only get to, meet 180 people before you even start school, but you also have kind of this network.
I still remember as a freshman, I was able to get to know a lot of juniors and seniors, which was just incredible. I would have never have gotten to know them otherwise. And they introduce you to their friends as well. So it's kind of like one person, and from there it kind of extends out and you're getting to know more and more people. And next thing you know, you're not a terrified freshman anymore and you actually have a solid group of friends on campus.
So I was in marching band in high school, and then when I decided to go to Emerson, we didn't have a music program, and I found out through another partner school member that BC allowed students from other schools to join the band, and since I had loved marching band in high school, I decided to kind of go out on a limb, and I showed up at band camp and just fell in love with it and decided to stay.
BC Marching Band Band Camp. It's a week and a half before school. We all go to BC's campus.
We take that time learning how to march, learning the new music for our show, and going through all of the stance music that we learn. About 50% of our incoming freshmen have never marched before, so there's a lot of time kind of refining the basics as well as learning the big picture stuff. It cuts down a lot on the time that we spend during the school year, which is when it's more important to be focusing obviously on academics. After all of the rehearsals over, we spend time doing social activities, so games, ice cream, movies, stuff like that.
It's a lot of fun. You get to know people, and during those breaks you have a great time. You could play football, you could just chat with some people, relax. By the end of it, you're into your first game day experience, which once you get there, once you're in uniform, and once you see those tens of thousands of people in the stands just cheering on the football team, enjoying the music, it's just such an amazing experience because you're really seeing your hard work finally coming to fruition. And it's just, I can't describe it. You're going to have to really experience it for yourself.
So I had never played saxophone before. I played clarinet in high school, and so I signed up for alto saxophone, and the instructors helped me learn the new fingerings, learn how to play the new music. And while it felt difficult at the beginning for a couple days, learning the new music and trying to get the fingerings down, it started to become more fluid and more natural. And by the end of band camp, after just 10 days of a new instrument, I already felt comfortable playing it and felt ready to march and perform at the games.
Above the student leaders, above the student members, there are full-time staff members who attend to the band. Every section has a staff member leading it. There's tons of people who are totally invested in the band and making us the best that we can be.
We don't keep it solely in a game day experience. We go beyond that. We do things on campus, we do things outside of campus.
So with the BCMB, I've gotten to travel to Montreal. I also got to march in the inaugural parade, which was just incredible and so overwhelming and amazing.
Our football team's doing really well in the last few years, so we've been going to bowl games. My freshman year, the band also performed with the Dropkick Murphys.
Playing with the Boston Pops was also an amazing experience.
Managing time with marching band is actually a little easier than you would expect because when you come to college, you just have so much more time on your hands than you had in high school. So in a sense, that's almost a little dangerous because when you have more time on your hands, you're less productive, you're not as focused, and there's a lot of bad things that can come from that. So it's almost nice to have something that's taking up a portion of your time because it keeps you more focused on things that you need to be focused on.
Marching band is in the evenings, Tuesday and Thursdays from 7 to 10. And so it leaves the rest of the day free to go to classes, to do homework, to be involved in other clubs or different groups.
So even though the band is definitely, you know, like a family and we all love each other. It's also definitely a serious thing. The drill is hard, it looks good, and the music is stuff that is difficult but rewarding and definitely pays off at the end.
As the season continues to go on, you start to realize why you're sticking with it. And one aspect of that is just that you're becoming a much better player throughout the whole process. You're learning how to perform music more technically, you're learning how to march, and it's nice to be able to feel those skills developing. But like I said before, beyond that, there's also an incredible social aspect to it. You're getting to know kids before you even start the school year. You're making a really good core of friends throughout the whole experience. So yeah, there's a lot of work, but there's also a lot of reward.